iHeart Podcasts. Hear more Gold 101.7 podcasts,
playlists, and listen live on the free iHeart app.
Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.
On the cutting room floor today, you've heard of job hopping, haven't you?
Is job hopping, which is what everyone seemed to be doing after COVID. They thought life's too short and they'd stay in a job a very short period of time and just flop around all over the place, job to job to job.
Yeah, you're never satisfied. When I first started in radio, I didn't job hop as much as climb the ladder. What would happen if someone would approach me from another radio station?
What's this got to do with anything?
It's just a backdoor brag.
Of course, it's a front door brag.
How good I am. So old mate from radio station X would ring and say, we need you over here, bro. And I'd be there for about 2 years and I'd bugger off. And
Then
go
I'd
to the
answer the
next-
phone and it'd be the next big station waiting for me.
Wow. So you're familiar with my journey. You know about my journey. So anyway, there's that. The new one to enter the lexicon is job hugging. And it's a grim new work trend, apparently.
What's the new work trend? Job hogging. What is it? Job humping? What is it?
Job hug. That's how you got the job here.
I'd get a phone call. Someone would say, we need you to come and hump people in our office.
And boom.
that's how my career took off.
Didn't your phone go quiet? No, job hugging as opposed to job hopping or humping is basically the opposite of that. Job hugging is where an employee stays in a role even if they're unhappy or find the job unfulfilling. The people remain in their jobs because they feel, it's not so bad. I can live with this.
Is this because of hard financial times? Cosy lives.
Cosy lives, those things, but also it's not good for the company. You can't sack anyone these days. It's so hard to sack someone. So they can,
I know.
They can just breeze along. They can just breeze along and phone it in, and you're not getting the quality out of that employee.
Right. So what you might gain in stability and longevity, you lose in quality.
Yeah, exactly. And so people just... Clearly you've been job hugging for some years, haven't you? Look at you. Not enough job humping, just job hugging. Abby, so you're just all about a hug. None of the serious.
I'm dreaming of you getting your next phone call and someone luring you away to go and work in community radio in Outback.
Why?
Timbuktu.
I can't go backwards. I'm like the emu and the kangaroo on our coat of arms. I only go forwards.
They're both delicious.
So unless Moneybags FM rings up and says, we want you to come over to our station. But right
Moneybags
now,
FM.
well, then there's no Moneybags FM left anymore. They're all gone broke and we're at the top of our game.
So it sounds to me the way you're describing yourself is you're job hugging right
Actually,
now.
maybe I am job hugging because I'm at the top of my game. I can't go backwards.
We can't sack you. I found that out when I went to HR a couple of
Yeah, I
times
know.
during the year.
You're always going to 8 levels of management. I can't abide him. Meanwhile, you go for a bit of job humping.
Well, I'm glad we've cleared that up.
Good.
That's what she said.
Everybody, it's time for Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. It's a cutting room floor.
On the cutting room floor today.
Do you ever look back at your wedding photos and wonder who the hell the people are that are in them? Not you and your wife.
Who is she? Who's she? I know my wife gets our wedding video and plays it in reverse so she can see herself walking out of the church. I know that happens. But yeah, I remember at my wedding, one of Helen's nurse
No, it was
friends.
our wedding. You don't say
My wedding, it was all about me. One of Helen's nurse friends brought this guy that looked like a roadie for Black Sabbath. And he came up at the end of the night, he goes, blind as a bat, comes up and says, thanks for having us, Darren, and walked out. Yeah, no worries, mate.
It is funny, though, because your wedding is a snapshot of a moment in time. And you think these people will be our friends forever. And it usually doesn't happen that way.
No.
And nor should it. You don't want to be locked in an air bubble for your whole life. They're people you work with at that time or the partners of people you work with, all that kind of stuff. You may have seen this story that a woman has spent 4 years trying to find the identity of an uninvited wedding guest. She's looking through the wedding photos and she's saying, oh, who's he? And her husband says, I don't know, I thought he was a friend of yours. And he's a really tall guy just standing there on his own. And she's spent 4 years using various forms of social media to try and find him. Well, finally, she's tracked him down because she said, it was always in the back of my mind, why was he there? Is he some mad stalker? So what has happened is finally this was shared on a site that this guy saw and he came forward. His name is Andrew Millhouse, and he put a post on Facebook saying he'd been cutting it fine, as he said, as I'm known to do. He pulled up at the wedding venue with 5 minutes to spare. Spotting the piper and other guests, he followed them into the hotel where the wedding was taking place. I remember thinking to myself, this is obviously the right place, but he was unaware the address he was supposed to go to was 2 miles away in an adjoining town.
Oh.
See, the thing is, he was with his partner was part of the wedding party.
Oh, okay, so he wouldn't have seen
He's
her.
only met the bride once.
Yeah,
He's there
right.
as the partner. So he was initially unperturbed to find himself surrounded by strangers as the ceremony began. As the marriage was due to attend, the only person he knew was the bride. So when she came walking down the aisle, he thought, oh, my God.
That's not her.
I'm at the wrong wedding. But as this is a quote from him, you can't exactly stand up and walk out of a wedding mid-ceremony. So I just had to commit to the act and spend the next 20 minutes awkwardly sitting there trying to be inconspicuous as my 6'2" ass could be, as he says.
And he ended up in the photos. How did he end up in the photos?
Well, at the end of the ceremony, he tried to make a discreet exit, only to be waylaid by a wedding photographer who insisted all the other guests are in a group shot. He can be spotted looming uncomfortably at the very back of the crowd. He went on to say he rushed outside, made some phone calls and made his way to the correct wedding where he was almost as popular as the actual bride and groom and spent most of the night retelling the story to everyone. I've just been at another wedding down the road. He did not expect this to become such a big deal. But she, the bride of the first wedding, has said, I'm pleased about this. He's not some crazy stalker.
Yeah.
That he's just a guy who he wasn't trying to be a wedding crasher.
No, he was just being polite.
He was trying to be polite and got caught up in the day.
This happened to me at a funeral one time. I was running late to a funeral for a friend that had passed away, and I got to one of those places, those funeral places where there's a bunch of different chapels around the joint.
Yeah.
And I was on my Harley Davidson, and it was the one with the straight through exhaust pipe, and it was like bat, 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 bat. So I've pulled up at the event, running late, mindful of the fact that, you know, I didn't want to make too much noise. So I've switched it off, and because the bat stopped, and then the guy's walking past, and I said, excuse me, mate, do you know where this particular funeral is? He goes, oh, to be in the Greenside Chapel over there. And I go, the Greenside Chapel? He goes, yep, no worries, mate. And he's talking as loud as he can be, and I'm trying to be hush.
After having ridden in on that noise.
Yeah, bat. So anyway, where the Greenside Chapel was like about 100 metres. So started my bike up again, and it has a giant bang, backfire, takes off, go over to the group, bat. Get there, walk in. It's not the funeral. Wrong funeral.
How did you know?
Because I walked in on that. There was no one there I knew. And also this funeral was for a young person.
Oh,
my friend was older.
Oh, God.
And then I went,
no.
It's back at the other church. So
I would have left my bike there and walked.
Yes.
But you didn't, did you?
No, got back, bat.
Oh, my
Get
God.
back there. And then old mate, the gravedigger or whoever he was, but you got the wrong one, mate. It's probably in here.
No, you know what probably should have happened? You said, I was just talking to a gravedigger. He said, we haven't had a gravedigger here for 50 years.
Okay. So then I walk into the church and everyone...
I'm here. Fonzie's here.
Lucky my mate was a motorcycle enthusiast. He would have appreciated
Of
it.
course he would.
Hey, everybody, here's some more Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Hey, get ready, everybody, here's some more Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor. Hey, are you ready for more?
On the cutting room floor today, something we didn't even mention on the show today because we had so much on, is this woman going viral for blasting Virgin online for not letting her breastfeed in the business class lounge.
It wasn't even breastfeed. It was express breast milk.
Yep.
And it was under her T-shirt. It was a small handheld pump. It's not necessarily those big machines that hook up like in milking yards.
Mm-hmm.
It was a small discreet pump that she said was under her shirt. No one would have seen it. She was asked not to do it in a business class lounge because people were complaining. She was told she should go into the bathroom to do it, which meant sitting on a toilet.
In this world, I just don't understand where everyone's filming everything. Anything like that, if you see a breastfeeding woman doing something, I wouldn't say anything. If a woman walked into this room now with two bosoms out spraying milk everywhere, I would not say a thing.
Why not?
Because you can't say anything about breastfeeding women.
It is out of step, and Virgin have really been hauled over the coals because of it.
But I thought Virgin were all Richard Branson and all that sort of stuff.
No, it comes down to individuals who come up to you and say, do you mind? I don't like it. And they say, everyone in here is saying something, where really it's just the individual saying, I don't like it. There's no company policy.
But this woman was being quite discreet about it. Having said that, she was a bit of a look-at-me type person as well, which could happen.
Come on. She's not a look-at-me type person. She's standing up for her rights quite rightly by being surprised, outraged and inconvenienced. She said, well, what am I supposed to do? Women are still allowed to work and sit in a business class lounge. And someone has to feed a baby.
I have no beef with that. Before we load up the ute with angry villagers.
See, this is what you think. You think if someone stands up for themselves in these circumstances,
not at all.
She's being uppity.
Not at all.
You just said she was.
No,
she
she's
seems
one of those,
like the person who'd be uppity.
I think she's a bit of a rage baiter. Rage baiters around everywhere.
But if it happened to your wife, how you should have every right to complain and to take to social media to say, hey, Virgin,
of course.
This is bad.
But also as well, a lot of people, you know, before social media, you do stuff and did events even happen. But there's a whole world of rage bait now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, but I don't think this is that. I think this is a valid thing to say, are we still here? Really? Because she's calling out a company saying, as I said, it might just have been an individual, but she's calling out a company saying, is this your policy? Because this is what I was asked to do.
As I said,
think that's not rage bait. That's calling out a big Australian company.
She knew she'd get a reaction.
As she should have, to say, we're still here, really?
But a lot of people, the internet is divided. I don't think that she's got the answer that she would have hoped for. A lot of people saying, oh, get over yourself. Just do it discreetly or do it more discreetly.
Do it discreetly. But feed your baby discreetly.
No, but she's not feeding a baby. She's got a breast pump.
That's what I mean. Everyone, but we're still there where we're saying women can't be in public, in a working environment, anywhere, and feed a baby, breastfeed, express milk. Come on.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, that's a different kettle of fish. If you're doing that, you're going to get arrested.
Speaking of rage bait.
But I always love that story you say about a friend of yours.
Oh, she had 3 small girls. I think they're all under the age of 4. And she's walking through a shopping centre and one of them, the baby is crying. So she sticks it onto her breast and this lady walks past and going, oh. And my friend said, well, you do it then. Don't take on a tired woman.
Don't
do it.
Take on a tired mum.
I'm warning you, Brendan.
I would never do that.
My children are 24 and 22 and I'm still tired.
A woman could come here spraying milk everywhere. You won't hear a peep out of me.
Is that our new competition?
Has anyone got any quick?
Yeah. It's Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.
On the cutting room floor today.
Are you someone who gets bitten by mosquitoes? There are some of us who get bitten more than others. My husband, I call him the burly. They'll always go for him.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Remember the old school ads for Aerogard and they put the arm into the tank full of mosquitoes?
Yeah.
I reckon I could put my arm into that tank of mosquitoes and they'd keep away from me.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I thought it was about blood type and the kind of maybe the levels of oxygen your skin was giving off. But
okay. Is there any? Do you know your blood type?
No. Do you know yours?
I'm a motorcyclist. You have to. A negative.
Everything's negative.
Well, it's just when you're lying on the road bleeding out, they say, what's your blood type? And you go, oh, it's A negative, thank you. If you can spare some, just a pint to get me through.
A pint will do me. Well, this is some research that has come from the Netherlands. The researchers asked 500 adults at a music festival to take part in a study. So the festival goers who wanted to participate did exactly what you said about that old Aerogard commercial. They put their arm into a box of mosquitoes. But what happened was that there was some mesh so that they could see who the mosquitoes were attracted to, but they couldn't be bitten. So they weren't going to get dengue fever or any of those things.
Because I'll get them landing on me, but they don't chomp in.
Or maybe they chomp in, but you don't get a big reaction to it, so you wouldn't know. My son, if he gets bitten by a mosquito, gets a big red welt.
Yeah, right, because he's got, but I'm allergic. I get like allergies, hay fever. That's my thing.
Hives.
I do get hives and I'm stressed.
You have a very weird reaction whenever you have hives. I say, wow, have you got hives? You said, don't mention it.
Yeah, because your body talks, I talk myself out of hives.
Remember that time you got hives? Let's look back at that moment. Do you remember? You bought sushi from a railway station a long way from the ocean.
Yeah, train station sushi, and I had a raging hangover.
Yeah.
And I think that was
neck minute.
Yeah.
I remember seeing even your wrists were all covered in
it was
hive.
terrible. Yeah, it is. Don't even mention. Don't even talk about it.
Don't even talk about
Because I
it.
use my Wolverine powers whenever I injure myself, and I do it quite regularly. I always say Wolverine powers, just fix this, and it seems to work.
All those claws come out.
I just I can imagine I visualize. This is going to sound weird. I visualize my body inside just repairing itself.
Okay, does sound weird. I did a story once, speaking of diseases you can get from mosquitoes, crouching down next to a swampy pond in Malaysia, saying this is the epicenter of dengue fever, and I didn't even have Aerogard on. But let me tell you about this
the
study.
stuff you do for TV.
Stuff with my ignorance.
What about the other times you crouched down and got some sort of disease, and you're miles away from any mosquitoes?
I once did a story in the middle of the Amazon where these women were packaging up aphrodisiacs into pill containers.
Like what sort of aphrodisiac?
Well, we weren't doing a story on that. We were looking at how most of the medicines in your medicine cabinet have come originally from plants.
Yep.
And that by knocking down the Amazon, we're losing all access to this.
That was the subject of that movie Medicine Man, with Sean Connery. And who was the female lead? Was it Meg Ryan?
Were there aphrodisiacs in it?
So he discovered the cure for cancer, and it's in the Amazon jungle.
Well, most of this is the thing.
Then the white man's coming along, chopping down the trees to make McDonald's burgers or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was the whole premise of that movie.
Oh, I was going to see it this weekend, thanks. But let me get back to this study in the Netherlands.
Go.
So 500 adults at a music festival stuck their hands in this mosquito box. What they discovered, well, this is the first bit, participants who had consumed beer and other alcohol were 1.3 times more likely to attract mosquitoes than those that didn't. So they saw that people who drank beer, this is what the study in the end showed.
Yep.
This is what mosquitoes loved most. People who drank beer, people who didn't wash, people who shared a bed, and people who avoided sunscreen.
Oh.
It sounds like every single person who's ever gone to a music festival.
Yeah, well,
mosquitoes love it.
I'll just let some mosquitoes into the room. We'll just see. They're all going to you.
That's amusing, Brendan.
It's like you're wearing a beard of mosquitoes.
Thank you, officer. Stop that noise. It triggers your emotions. Like Roxette.
Yeah. It's Jonesy and the man is coming floor. Yeah. Get ready, everybody, here is some more. Jonesy and the man is coming floor. Are you ready for more? Yeah. It's Jonesy and the man is coming floor.
On the cutting room floor today.
Well, Brendan, first it was Hall & Oates. Now it's Ben & Jerry's. Splitsville.
Oh, what's happened?
Well,
Did the huge talent of Hall outweighing Oates affect Ben & Jerry?
before we go on to Ben & Jerry, let's get this clear. I'm
I'm
Hall,
Hall, you're
you're
Oates.
You're the small, wiry,
No,
hairy one that people won't really
You're the one that
doesn't
flips
know
around in
much
the
about.
background. The brains of the operation, i.e. me. Anyway, we've spoken about this at length.
All right, well, let's move on to Ben & Jerry's. So Ben & Jerry's ice cream. One of the co-founders, Jerry, the Jerry of Ben & Jerry's, has quit the band. He's resigned.
What's happened?
Well, the parent company, Unilever, he says, has silenced their core mission of liberal activism. Let's listen to something that they posted on TikTok not so long ago.
Stick to ice cream. Not gonna lie, we get this one a lot.
Yeah, we're in the ice cream business, but we've always been about much more than just ice cream. We use our power, our privilege, our platform, and our relationship with our fans to advocate for progressive social change. So no, we're not just going to stick to ice cream.
Well,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I
about
think
them.
the owners now, Unilever, have said, how about you just stick to ice cream? Because the very vocal owners of this ice cream company, and most people who buy the ice cream wouldn't need to know or care, maybe you do care, what the owners think. You just know them as ice cream makers. But they apparently have been involved in many issues, climate change, racism. They have built a reputation for social activism, and they've been arrested at various protests. And I think some of their pro-Palestinian support has upset Unilever, who've said, stop. So Jerry has stepped down because he feels they've been silenced from their core ethos that they've been doing since the organisation began, which was in 1978.
Yeah, and that was way before social media. what's happened now, and I've had this epiphany recently, there is so much opinion on social media now. Everyone has an opinion. So really, people like Ben and Jerry's in the old days used to do the right thing. There's enough opinions out there, whether it be left or right or centrist, it doesn't matter. But ice cream manufacturers, even bands these days, they don't need to use their platform to talk about these things because everyday people are now aware of what's happening socially.
I wonder if the difference is.
And now it just sounds like a lecture.
No, but in the old days, you used to be able to say, I'm opposed to this. And you go, oh, fair enough.
Yep.
Now you're opposed to this. Sorry, that means, we're so divided.
That's what I mean.
We can no longer tolerate an opinion.
Yes.
So Unilever have said, we don't like your pro-Palestinian thoughts.
Yep.
You've upset our Israeli followers. Therefore,
exactly.
There you go. So there's no longer, here's my opinion. It is, my opinion now is upsetting somebody and you cannot have your opinion.
But the very nub of it is Ben and Jerry's make ice cream.
Yeah.
When they weren't an opinion company making ice cream, it's like U2. U2 have
their ice cream's terrible.
They'd have a nice rum and reason. But what I'm saying is even U2 in itself now, everyone's tired of hearing other people's opinions because we are awash with opinions. You look at social media, you don't have to go anywhere to hear an opinion. Remember in the old days, and we're so immersed in social.
You go, there's a Maddie.
And you could see a Maddie standing in the town square yelling out.
Them.
But you could walk off.
Yeah.
But now, thanks to the algorithm and thanks to Elon Musk taking away censorship on X, you get any amount of sewer coming out of that pipeline.
Which is because they make more money when we lean into fearful opinions. So what you say is right, but I think what I say is right as well. Of course, I'm going to say that. Mm-hmm. It is, yes, we've got too much opinion, but also that opinion, somehow it's like stroking a cat backwards. Your opinion is hateful to me, and therefore we are at odds. It didn't just used to be, okay, he's got that opinion. Now we're at odds.
It's true. And maybe we'll go back to the 20s where everyone just kept their pie hole shut. So people talk on internet. Now I've noticed when you go to barbecues and stuff, people are less inclined to talk politically. Have you noticed that?
I think because we know how divisive it is.
Because people so you don't mention it. So in humankind, when we're face to face with each other, we're not talking about our opinions as much.
Have you seen this thing? There's two dogs, and they said this is what Twitter or X is. Two dogs, there's a fence.
Yep.
These Alsatians just barking, baring their teeth. The fence pulls back. The two dogs just look at each other. No problem. Fence closes again.
And that's exactly what it is. That's a metaphor for what's happening now. So think about that when you're scrolling.
And also think about that when you're buying ice cream because Jen and Berries, that's what they should, a new flavour, Jen and Berries, because they're now putting out the banana split. Booyah!
Everybody, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow for some more of Jonesy and the man.